In this video, I will show you how to use the Get Members of an Azure Active Directory Group action in Nintex Workflow Cloud. This action is used to retrieve details of members in an Azure Active Directory Group. The member details are stored in the output variables of the action and can be used with other actions in the workflow. The Get Members of an Azure Active Directory Group action is one of many actions located in the Azure Active Directory Action Group in the Nintex Workflow Cloud Actions toolbox. The action has 3 fields and all of them need to be configured. The first field in the action is the connection field. Here you can choose a pre-configured Azure Active Directory connection, which specifies the domain that you would like to use for the action. Please see the Nintex Workflow Cloud help files for information about configuring your Azure Active Directory connection. The next field in the action is the group name field. The drop-down for this field is automatically populated with all the security groups in the domain based on the connection chosen. A security group can be selected from the drop-down, or a variable can be inserted containing the name of the group using the Insert tab. Note that only security groups in Azure Active Directory are shown in the Group Name field drop-down. Other Azure Active Directory group types are supported and can be used. The name of the group needs to be added to a variable and then inserted into the field using the Insert tab. Lastly, there is the Output field. This field is required for the action configuration, and it accepts an object variable. To add the variable, click the Add Variable option from the drop-down. Give your variable a name. The only data type that can be chosen is object. Click the Create button or the Create and Insert link to create the variable. The object variable contains 2 parts. The first is the Members Collection variable. The collection contains the Azure Active Directory object ID for the user, as well as their display name, email address, and the user principal name. The second part of the object is the Store Members Emails Collection variable. As the name suggests, only the email addresses of the members of the group are stored in the collection. This variable saves time when looping through the collection to retrieve all the members' email addresses, as this is the only value in the collection. The configuration of the Azure Active Directory Get Members of an Azure Active Directory Group action is now complete. Now that you know how to configure the Get Members of an Azure Active Directory Group action, let me demonstrate its usefulness in a Nintex Workflow Cloud workflow. In this scenario, a Nintex Workflow Cloud Start Event form is used to send out a subscription newsletter to members. When the workflow runs, it will retrieve the members of the newsletter subscriber's Azure Active Directory Security Group and send a personalized email to each member. I will start by adding a Get Members of an Azure Active Directory Group action to the workflow. I am selecting a connection for the domain that I want to interact with. The group name for the subscribers is called Newsletter Subscription, so I will select that for the Group Name field. For the Output field, I will use my subscriber's object variable. That is all that is required for the action configuration. Next, I will add a loop for each action to the workflow. I will configure it to loop through the Members Collection variable, returned by the Get Members of an Azure Active Directory Group action. In the loop, I am placing a Send an Email action. The email address and display name are used from the Members Collection variable for each member to personalize the individual emails. The Log2Instance action logs who the email was sent to on the Instance Activities page. When the workflow runs, we can see that an email has been sent to each of the members in the Newsletter Subscription Azure Active Directory Security Group. In this video, we looked at the Azure Active Directory Get Members of an Azure Active Directory Group action and found that it is useful for keeping a dynamic list of users to use within your Nintex Workflow Cloud workflows. For more information about the Get Members of an Azure Active Directory Group action and the other actions used in this video, please see the Nintex Workflow Cloud help files.